Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. August Shri Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's Bhagavatam class. That's going to be Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lila chapter 7, verse 12. And the chapter is entitled Lord Chaitanya and Five Features. We just finished the verses where it was discussed the reasons why Lord Chaitanya chose to appear as a devotee. And now we're going to and also to accept Lord Nityananda as his older brother. And now we're going to go into these reasons and go and expand more into it. We're very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and all glories to Shri Prabhupada Maharaj. Maharaj, you're on mute.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vinda Ite Bhakta Bhavadara Chaitanya Goshani Bhakta Sarupatana Nityananda Bai. For this reason, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the supreme teacher, accepts the form of a devotee and accepts Lord Nityananda as his elder brother. Bhaktavatar Tanra Acharya Goshani Aitina Tapaseva Prabhakara Gai. Sri Advaita is Lord Chaitanya's incarnation as a devotee. Therefore, these three tattvas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Goshani, are the predominators or masters. Purport. Goshani means Goswami. A person who has full control of the senses and mind is called a Goswami or Goshani. One who does not have such control is called a Godas or a servant of the senses and cannot become a spiritual master. A spiritual master who actually has control of the mind and senses is called Goswami. Although the Goswami title has become a hereditary designation for unscrupulous men, actually the title Goswami or Goswami began from Srila Rupa Goswami, who presented himself as an ordinary grihastha and minister in government service, but became a Goswami when he actually elevated by the instructions of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Goswami is not a hereditary title, but refers to one's qualification. When one is highly elevated in spiritual advancement, regardless of where from he comes, he may be called Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Goswami Prabhu are natural Goswamis because they belong to the Vishnu Tattva category. As such, all of them are Prabhus, predominators or masters, and they are sometimes called Chaitanya Goswami, Nityananda Goswami, Advaita Goswami. Unfortunately, they're so-called descendants who do not have the qualifications. Goswamis have accepted this title as a hereditary designation or a professional degree that is not in accord with the Shastra's injunctions. That's my Shri Devena Hanamo Vishnu Badai Krishna Vastaya Utale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nevasing Sasunya Vadi Pastyatya Dev Tarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuve Bachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Advaita are Vishnu Tattva. In other words, they're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gadadhar is Shakti Tattva, and Advaita and Srivas is Jiva Tattva. So together they make up the Pancha Tattva. Here we're talking about titles. People like to surreptitiously or whimsically for some legal reason or some prestige adopt the title of Goswami. People come in the family of somebody who's a Goswami, they adopt that. But they're not Goswamis because they're not following the program of Goswamis, complete mind and control of the senses, and engaged fully in devotional service. Not just controlling the mind and the senses, but they must be fully engaged in devotional service. So here we're hearing about the Panchatattva who are called Goswamis in the right sense. So they are leaders, they are the Supreme Lord. We have Rupa Goswami also. He was taught the science of Krishna consciousness at Dasvamedha Ghat by Lord Chaitanya for 10 days. And he also wrote what he heard in the form of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we know as Nectar Devotion, which is a summary study of Nectar Devotion. It's not the whole Nectar Devotion. What we have is a summary study. And then we have Sanatana Goswami. So many of our acharyas have been given that name or that title, Goswami, because they are fully engaged in devotional service with complete control of the mind and senses. In a general sense of the term, controlling the mind and senses is the basic principle of success in devotional service. One who doesn't control the mind and senses can't really execute devotional service. The mind is the sixth sense. There are five senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. And the mind is the controller of these senses in relationship to the objects of the senses. The mind is the king of the senses. And so one who can control the mind can control all of these other senses. But sometimes the senses are so get disturbed by the object of the senses, and it's the duty of the mind to bring the senses back under control, so they are not what we say dragged away by the object of the senses. We see something in the material world and we get attracted to it, and we want sometimes to enjoy it. We hear something, we smell, and all of these senses. The senses are called serpents or servants. Both titles are applied. For one who controls the mind and engages in devotional service, the senses assist the living entity in bringing about his actual goal of life, which is to focus the mind and the senses on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his name, fame, form, qualities, pastimes, and activities, entourage. And serpents means one who bites and kills. So the senses, if they're not controlled, they can lead one to hell. And if the mind is not controlled, then everything is lost. So the mind has to be carefully controlled. And so the easiest way to learn how to control the mind is to practice carefully chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. That will elevate the mind to the spiritual platform at the same time, develop a ability to control the mind. Because when the mind is focused on Krishna, then all of the other senses are under control. When the mind is focusing on something else, and then even if the senses are engaged in certain activities in devotional service, the senses may not be able to maintain that and be led away by the objects. So therefore, one has to control the mind. The mind is the basic principle of devotional service. Krishna talks a lot about the importance of controlling the mind, both in the Bhagavad Gita. The whole 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is about the mind. It's called Dhyana Yoga, or meditation. And of course, throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are blocks of verses in a series all about the mind. So one should learn how the mind works and not become controlled by the mind, but control the mind. When the sense objects become strong and one is attracted, then the mind gets dragged into the material realm. Therefore, in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it says, Dayatam Vishayam Pumsam Sangat Sajayate Kama Kama Kroda Vijayate Kroda Bhavati Samoham Samoham Shriti Brahma Vriti Brahmsa Burinasa Panashyati. By contemplating the objects of the senses, one develops attachment for them. From that attachment, lust comes. From lust, when lust is unfulfilled, anger develops. When anger comes, the delusion of memory. When memory is deluded, intelligence is lost. When intelligence is lost, one again falls down into the material pool, pranashati. One has to be very diligent in controlling the mind and senses. We see the media nowadays in all of its glamour and glory like to control your mind by dragging your mind into so many useless and nonsense things. Therefore, those who frequent the external media, or even the spiritual media, sometimes find themselves unable to practice devotional service properly because the varieties of sense objects in the form of interest, topics to draw the mind away, different videos, different articles, and the mind becomes pulled in this direction, that direction, and we forget about Krishna, which is ultimately the principle of success in devotional service. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, always remember me. That is the success in bhakti, to focus the mind and senses in serving Krishna and remembering Krishna. So we have to be very aware how the mind is working, how easy the mind can be drawn away simply by subtle forms of a distraction. When the mind gets slightly distracted by something, it leads to another form of distraction. And pretty soon the mind gets so far away from the object of Krishna that one starts to become bewildered and wonder how that they got so far away. Because Maya is very subtle. She works very subtly to gradually move you away from the essence. So be careful with media. There's so much junk on the media. We always have interest for a lot of this same junk. And there's so many things on the market that seem to be important, but actually are just a waste of time. If you focus your attention on Krishna, you'll get all the knowledge you need through the process of bhakti. Krishna is in the heart. When we connect with Krishna, as it says, when you know Krishna, you know everything. That is a fact. So learn the science of Krishna and keep your mind focused on devotional service and the activities of devotional service. Especially keep your mind on meditating on Krishna in the form of his holy name. One can chant anytime, any place, anywhere, There's no restrictions. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. So the process of bhakti is to focus the mind and senses on Krishna in the form of activity or in the form of thought or speech, all of these three things, body, mind, and senses on Krishna. And that's Krishna conscious. Even when we do our daily activities such as eating, or even sometimes when we take rest at night, what do we think of at the last time before we go to sleep? Do we think of Krishna, or are we thinking of some movie we just seen or something, or some argument with one of the family members? So, keep your mind on Krishna. That's the goal of Krishna consciousness, and that's the success of Krishna consciousness. And so the mind and senses are, Krishna explains in the 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, to control the mind is like controlling a horse. It can be very wild at times. But he explains, in learning how to control the mind is learning how to ride a horse. He says, if you're riding a horse and you jerk the reins, the horse will jump. In other words, if you pull too tight on the horse will jump. And if you're not tight enough, then the horse will go whatever way it wants. So Krishna gives a very practical formula. Gradually get a hold of that mind and move it in a direction that is of devotional activity. And then you can always be in control of the mind. And when you're in control of the mind, then the senses will follow. Sometimes they get led away anyway, but when the mind is controlled, it's easy to bring them back. As Krishna says, whenever and wherever the mind wanders due to its unsteady and flickering nature, bring it back under the control of the senses. He said, and Krishna says, to control the mind means to practice and to give up sense gratification at the same time. If we're still cultivating material desires and at the same time trying to practice Krishna consciousness, we're actually trying to build a fire by pouring water on it at the same time. It's a futile attempt. So one has to give up this desire to enjoy this material world, which is not enjoyable anyway. The material energy is Krishna's energy. It cannot be enjoyed by the living entities because we are not Purusha, we are not Bhokta. Krishna says, I am Bhokta, I am Purusha. So to try to enjoy the material energy is to try to push Krishna out and take his place as the enjoyer. So that will keep us struggling in the material world, even though we may be practicing devotional service. We're still serving two masters. At some time, whatever master you give energy to will become the supreme success. So put your energy, time, and effort in thinking about Krishna and serving Krishna. Our whole day should be organized in such a way that there's not a moment gap where you're not doing something for Krishna. Everything has to be related to devotional service in one form or another. Even taking care of the body, we can remember Krishna when we're taking care of the body. Just like when those of you who live at home, and you have, you don't necessarily go to the temple. What do you do when you first wake up? The first thing we do is we wake up, we pay our obeisances towards the spiritual master and chant his pranam mantra. We remember the object of our devotion, Krishna, in the form of the deity that we are serving. And then we chant the holy name as we go about taking care of our bodily needs. And then after we take care of bodily needs, we sit down and either perform some arti with the deities or with pictures, whatever the arrangement is, and then chant the holy names of the Lord. What I like to do is that even while we're taking care of our bodily needs, Well, I'm playing Srila Prabhupada's uh, Guru Vastakam prayers, the prayers to the spiritual master, also the Mangala Charanam, Jayarada Madhava, the six Goswami prayers. These prayers are all recorded on different electronic devices. Set up a device like that so you're constantly in the sound vibration of the holy name or in the sound vibration of the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Never let your mind wander anywhere else when you have to take care of your material responsibilities, say is buying groceries or taking care of kids. Remember Krishna. You can do that. It's not contrary to the success of the activity we're performing. It actually enhances quality of our successes. We can be chanting and we can still be doing our material duties, not necessarily on the beads, as Srila Prabhupada would say, 16 rounds on beads and innumerable rounds off the beads. That means we should be connecting with Krishna throughout the whole day. And when you do, you're on the transcendental platform, you're unaffected by the material energy, and Krishna within the heart directs you even in your ordinary activities when you're connected with Krishna. So Krishna consciousness means keep that mind focused. And that's Goswami. Otherwise, one who does not control the mind becomes a servant of the senses, and as it says, cannot actually execute devotional service, nor take any position within the society. So here we're hearing about the definition of a Goswami. Go means senses, Swami means controller. There's another one called Godas, that means controlled by the senses. And the non-devotees think they have control of the senses, but their senses are leading them according to their material desires to the objects that they need to fulfill their desires. So they're controlled by the objects of their senses, and because that is their desires. And so you might think some of them have good mind control, but their mind control is under the influence of the external energy, which means no control. And there's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam that says that go turn to that verse. It's 5:18-12 in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's an interesting verse. 5:18-12. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor for maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord. External energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? The external energy is driving one in different directions. So their minds are being dragged as a horse that is, say, when a horse goes wild, can go in any direction and throw the rider off also. So unless one is engaged on the platform where the stability of the mind becomes focused on the Supreme, because the material energy is mutable, always changing. Therefore, one cannot control the external energy by mind control. One gets controlled by that same external energy. And therefore, this verse says, how can any good qualities be in such a person? So devotees have all good qualities. Why? Because they're engaged in devotional service. And they're connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is above the three modes of material nature. And therefore, they are also connecting above the three modes, and therefore they're not in the material world. So, so this verse is very essential as a preliminary principle for the execution of one's devotional service. It starts with sense and mind control. Okay, we can stop there and open it up for questions.
Thank you so much, Mark, for such a wonderful class. Quite a bit, if not all of it, on the control of the mind and the senses and being servants of the Lord and not servants of the senses, and having the senses be our servant instead. Thank you so much, March. Wonderful point. Would like to ask devotees, if you, wherever you can, if you could please turn on your videos and your camera. And if you have a question, please to raise your hand. Sri Devi, you're on it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Anasia. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. I was just thinking about this very last verse which you quoted, 5:18-12, where the translation says that even if he is engaged in the honest labor of maintaining his family, etc., etc. But doesn't the Bhagavad Gita also say that one must carry out one's duties, however imperfectly, as best as one can, rather than another's duties, even if ours is imperfect, that is what is pleasing to the Lord. So if somebody is carrying out their duties very nicely, how is it that that's not karma yoga?
Well, it's they're talking about the materialist here. They're not talking about devotees. Yeah, you're talking about a materialist who is very expert at maintaining family and also adept at mystic yoga. Still, because they're not engaged, they're still being dragged by the material energy. Material energy is constantly mutable, always changing. So where's their control? They're being controlled by something that is controlling them. That's all.
So even if someone is very pious and very honestly engaged in, honest labor to take care of his family, why isn't that pleasing to the Lord?
Well, still within the material energy. They still have to take birth again. Pious or impious, Srila Prabhupada talks about that. What's the difference between pious and impious? No difference, because they're both material. The only benefit of having pious activities, it can qualify you to come to devotional service, can help you come to devotional service. But in and of itself, it's still within the material range. And it gets us another birth in the material world. That's all. Without devotional service, you're under the influence of the three modes.
Right.
So
Okay.
one who is maintaining his family and is engaged in devotional service, then they have good qualities because they're engaged in devotional service.
Okay. Yes, I get it now. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj. My obeisances.
I sent you that thing today. Did you see your email yet?
Yes, I saw it, but I haven't opened it yet because I just saw it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's a very nice question, Sri Devi. Clarified, I'm sure, at least for me and for many other devotees. Thank you. Shiva Kumar Prabhu, go ahead. It's yours.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna Maharaj and out pranams.
That
Please
whole-
accept humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, couple of points on this topic, Maharaj. I'm not sure if I'm mixing multiple things, but things that I heard in your lectures, I just wanted some clarity around these points. Now, our understanding is the mind is better absorbed in the service when the service is in alignment to our swabhava, to our nature. And that's our understanding and a little bit of our experience to Maharaj.
That's not an absolute principle.
Okay.
The tendency is there based on what you've just said, but one can get absorbed in any service even though it's not in line with your Swabhava. But what Swabhava does, it allows us to serve according to our nature. But devotional service is transcendental. So one can, even if you're not serving according to your nature, I mean, that's how our society is going on nowadays, because most devotees are not working according to their nature. Some are. But still, you can get absorbed. But creativity and what we say longevity is more guaranteed when we work according to our nature.
Okay. So Maharaj, on that, Maharaj, 2 points that I heard, I just wanted some clarification. Like last week in 2 of the classes, you repeatedly mentioned that you get happiness in the service itself and not from the result of the service. So that's 1 point that you mentioned, Maharaj. And in one of the lectures, Maharaj, in a Navavida Bhakti seminar on the topic of that service, devotion service, you spoke about a point that sometimes Krishna pulls us out of our comfort zone, Swabhava, as far as the devotion service is concerned, just so that we don't get carried away by the false ego that I am getting something out of the service itself. So I just wanted to kind of understand these 2 points together, Maharaj. Is that related or?
If you're engaged in devotional service, Krishna is not going to pull you out, but he may also instruct you on how certain anomalies or certain, what we say, certain qualities and certain attitudes within the practice, within your devotional service, are not conducive to devotional service. Like if you're trying to do devotional service to gain the fruits of activities, that means it's tinged by the material energy, the mode of passion. So Krishna will use the spiritual master, and he'll also use the material energy to somehow to guide you where you can eliminate certain attitudes in devotional service. He's always trying to help you as long as you're sincere. If you're sincere, he's always working to purify you and guide you in the way that is best. In the way you can perfect your service. Yeah, but he's not going to throw you away from devotional service. That's not the way Krishna works. He's trying to get you into devotional service. But the devotional service sometimes is tinged with karma, gyan, yoga, and various material tendencies. There's, as we were explaining a couple of days ago, there's 81 wrong ways to do devotional service. Yeah, 81 wrong ways, and there's only one right way. So what is that 81? 3 modes of material nature times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27, 27 times 3 is 81. What is the 9? The 9 process of devotional service. So 9 processes of devotional service. We can execute each one of those 9 with a tinge of each of the modes of material nature in there. So it adds up to 81 wrong ways to do devotional service. That's mentioned in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the 3rd canto, it also talks about devotional service in the mode of goodness, devotional service in the mode of passion, and devotional service in the mode of ignorance. And then you times that by 3, then the 9 process, you get 81 wrong ways. That means that it's all mixed devotional service, it's not pure devotional service. When you want the results, either good, want some results in devotional service, that's the mode of passion. If you want some benefit, some spiritual benefit from devotional service, that's tinged by the mode of goodness. Like you want to serve because, let me see, what would be a good example? Tinged by the mode of goodness. In other words, you're trying to, rather than focusing on devotion, you're focusing on cultivation of knowledge.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And mode of ignorance means you're doing devotional service so you can overcome others and be in a better position to put other people down.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, pure devotional service is explained by Rupa Goswami. I'm sure we all heard of it. Ayabila Sita Sunya, Jnanakarman Avritar, Anukalena Krishna, Silanam, Bhakti Uttama. Free from karma of Gyan, it's for Krishna with a desire to please Krishna. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And Rupa Goswami says enthusiasm, determination, patience, hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, avoiding the association of non-devotees, and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 things guarantee pure devotional service.
Hmm.
And what is against pure devotional service? Eating too much, collecting too much, endeavoring for material things, talking uselessly, following the rules and regulations just for the sake of following, or following the rules and regulations and acting whimsically and rejecting, associating with the non-devotees for some material gain. And the last one is prayasa or lauyam, greed for material success. So these are the 6 things that destroy, and the 6 things that enhance. And that's all mentioned in Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Instruction. Verses 2 and number 3, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has taken these 6 principles, these 12 principles, and given a commentary on each one in the form of a book, which is called Bhakta Loka. It's a good book to study these 12 principles, and you can see the intricacies of these different principles, so you don't become bewildered about what are these 6 principles and what they actually mean, and how to avoid certain activities which may look like devotional service.
Hmm.
So it's a very good science, great science. If you don't say, you might say, well, I'm just an ordinary person, I don't have much intelligence. Still, you can execute pure devotional service if you inquire from your spiritual master and learn the process from him, and then engage accordingly. Ask questions, get your doubts cleared, and then move forward.
Maharaj, just one confirmation, Maharaj. If I get satisfaction because the service is in alignment to my nature, is that against pure devotion principles of pure devotion service, Maharaj? By any
No,
chance?
no. You're getting some satisfaction because whether it's to your nature or not, either way, if you're getting satisfaction, that means Krishna is pleased. If you feel pleased in devotional service, that means Krishna is also pleased, because you're part of Krishna, and therefore, if you please Krishna, you automatically feel satisfaction. That's automatic. If you're feeling dissatisfied in your devotional service, then you should do some reflective analysis and see what is it about your devotional service that needs to be adjusted, both the activity or the mood, either one.
Thank you so much.
Very
Okay.
nice questions, Prabhu. Thank you so much for asking. I have a question following that, but I'll have Srimati go ahead. Go ahead, Srimati. Very powerful. points.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, when you are talking about engaging yourself whole day, 24/7 in Krishna's activities, so we are engaging in too many activities, and we are trying to give 100% in each and every activity, but still there is imperfection, and also not able to satisfy the others, or the result whichever is getting, or not able to satisfy ourselves or the other people with whom we are working, all that.
There's no statement in anywhere in the scriptures saying you have to satisfy other people.
Okay.
It doesn't say that anywhere. It says satisfy Krishna, and everyone becomes satisfied.
Okay.
Yeah, because Krishna is the root. Even if people don't become satisfied, that doesn't have anything to do with you. That's their problem. If you're satisfying Krishna, you're successful. If you're satisfying the spiritual master, you're successful. You're acting according to religious principles, you're successful.
So I was thinking, like, because I'm engaged in too many activities, I'm not able to focus on one particular one, giving my 100% or doing perfectly. That's why the satisfaction is not coming. The other people, or whoever I am doing the service, they are not satisfied. Like that, I'm thinking, Maharaj.
Well, you have to see what is beneficial and what is not beneficial. What is necessary, what is not necessary. When we come into Krishna consciousness, we have so many activities and responsibilities. Now we have to learn to streamline these activities in line with our devotional service, and not waste time in things that are frivolous or useless or extraneous. If it comes to maintaining family and occupation, it says that just learn the science of becoming Krishna conscious in those activities also. I think many times I've sent one text by one devotee, how to become Krishna conscious in the workplace. It's quite an extensive, file. So he worked it for 28 years in the workplace, but he learned how to stay Krishna consciousness in that environment. Same with family.
Mm.
And you're okay. Your whole family is Krishna conscious. You don't have to worry about them.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, so you're getting support. You're not getting pulled away. Someone is at my door. I'm going to have to open the door because
Yes, Maharaj.
I'll be back in about 20 seconds or so. When it rains, it pours. Now my phone is ringing. First the doorbell, then the phone. Oh, all right. Okay. Okay, we're back. Almost.
Go ahead with your questions or whatever you have left, Srimati. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Srimati, I know you quite well. You're trying to get perfection right away. You have to. Perfection takes time to develop. If you're working in the right way, it's just a matter of time. So, if you feel like you haven't become a pure devotee yet, don't worry. Stay on the path.
I'm just thinking, like, something, whatever I do, always something is lacking, I feel. So I want to fulfill that too, and or reach to that particular level where I'm satisfying everyone. Everyone will be pleased with me, whatever I do. So, but still, I feel like something is lacking. I have to strive more.
No, you can't please everybody. It's not possible. You can't please everybody. Prabhupada tells a nice story. No matter what you do, there's always somebody who will not agree with you. It's just the way the world is. It could be friends, family members, or just people in general. It's just the way it is. Even Prabhupada got criticized. What does Krishna gets criticized too. So no matter what you do in this world, you'll always find those who want to say something to tear you down or to find fault. That's just the way the world is.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
The world moves by one principle. It's called envy. Envy. Everybody's envious of everybody else.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yeah.
It's true. It's a fact. Because that's how we fall to the material world. We fall to the material world because we're envious of Krishna, and then we take that same thing and we battle each other in the material world. And just learn if try to work in such a way that the qualities you develop, which are in the mode of goodness, is very pleasing to people in general. These qualities of the mode of goodness, and then execute your devotional service accordingly.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
We have to practice humility. We have to practice tolerance, patience. We have to practice being undisturbed by happiness and distress. We have to practice simplicity. We have to learn the art of bhakti. We have to, there's many things that are necessary, which are all part of the mode of goodness, which are essential for the execution of devotional service. So, therefore, developing Vaishnava qualities is part of our practice of devotional service. It's not just the activity itself, it's the qualities that are necessary to make that activity offerable and pleasing to Krishna. So we can always work on these things. How to be more humble, how to be more tolerant, how to be undisturbed by happiness and distress, how to be more focused in our devotional service, how to be more respectful to people in general, even though they're not respectable.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
And also, Marge, I think sometimes, because I was actually caught in that many years ago, is when we get caught into this whole concept or the idea of pleasing others, then we forget to please Krishna. We spend so much time just trying to please everyone else, then Krishna gets the bottom of the food chain.
Well, Prabhupada says, if you're trying to please everyone but not Krishna, you please no one. But if you please Krishna, you please everyone. Because Krishna is connected with everyone. They may not know it, just like sometimes family members work against us and they don't like our devotional life. But we continue with our devotional life. Who's getting benefit? They are also getting benefit. Although they're opposite of us, and sometimes they try to derail us from our practice, still, our devotional service is benefiting them. It's called imperceptible, but it's happening because of the connection between us and those who are connected to us. Devotional service expands itself out not only to the object, but to everyone connected with that object. Dhruva Maharaj's mother went back home, back to Godhead. simply because her son was a pure devotee, because she gave him the directions. When she told him, if you want to find God, you have to go to the forest, he took that instruction, became fully Krishna conscious. And when he was going back home, back to Godhead, she was also going back home to back to God also, although she wasn't qualified. If you get connected with a pure devotee, you can also develop the qualities of their pure devotee, or the Sukriti that they also have. Mhm.
That's amazing, Maharaj, that Dhruva Maharaj's mother went back to Godhead because of his purity.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. All she did was direct him in the right way. She was his, you might say, his. What's that guru that shows the way? She, I can never think of that terminology.
Vartma Pradarshika Guru.
Pavartma Padarshika Guru, the one who shows the way. That's,
Yeah, that name is such a long name, Art. It can be a tongue twister for me too. I think Maharaj's screen froze. Is it just me or?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's Maharaj. Okay. But very nice. Srimati, I hope that helped. Do you want to follow up? Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Vishaba Prabhu, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, the Gurudev, and dear Vaishnavas, please accept my humble obeisances. So glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, it is mentioned in the scripture that when we get a higher taste, we can leave the lower conceptions of life. But also it is said that we have to get rid of some anarthas or misconceptions of life so we can advance and get a higher taste. So what comes first? Is it the higher taste or letting go of anarthas?
I think that's simultaneously, because you can't get the higher taste as long as the certain anarthas are there. Not all of the anarthas. It depends on which anartha it is. Yeah, because there are many anarthas, and one can also develop some higher taste, even when certain anarthas are still present. Yeah, because anarthas are destroyed on different levels of bhakti. So yeah, higher taste means, in other words, there's a sense of satisfaction that comes in your execution of devotional service.
Thank you. Right.
Yeah. The most important of all of the qualities that give us the higher taste is humility. That quality is foremost. That's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna lists the 20 items of knowledge. Anambitam, adambitvam, anammitvam, what is it? Amaninam, amanbitam, adambitvam, ahimsa, 20 items of knowledge. And the first item of knowledge is humility. And that humility requires some discussion of what is actually humility. Humility doesn't mean just being simple in your activities. It means to know your position as being dependent on the mercy of the Lord and acting in that way. Yeah. Amaninam, what is it? Amanitam, amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsam, sharchamarjavam, acharya pasanam, saucham, staram, atman, vinigraha. It goes on, that lists 20 qualities. Nice verse. Read that, and then Prabhupada gives a explanation in the purport on each one of the qualities.
Bhagavad Gita 13, verses 8 through 12. Shiva Kumar just posted in the group, Maharaj.
Yeah, it's a really, you can make a whole seminar out of that verse. It's really extensive. Certain things you'll be blown away, just like it talks about what is the duty of family life. It says do 4 things in family life. Chant together, read together, serve together, and take prasadam together. And then you can have a happy family life. Hare Krishna. Nobody smiled on that one except Anasuya. Everybody's look at me like, happy family life? Is there such a thing?
Marge, it's interesting because I was just talking to one devotee over the weekend, who has a very interesting concept of the initial stages, at least, of a marriage life. That they think that investing in a marriage means everything must stop. I just got to invest. So I told that devotee, I'm going to give you an assignment. Go to any senior devotees who've been married for so many years and ask them what did they do the first 5 years, and they will tell you that they did service together more than anything else.
Yeah. And service connects us with Krishna, and that connects us with each other also.
Yes, Marge. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sri Devi, it's you again. Go ahead.
I just wanted to share, how much Guru Maharaj helped me when I was, caught, like how Srimati is so caught with these relatives and all these things. I remember the very first or second meeting with Guru Maharaj, I asked this question. I'm so confused. I'm from India, where one believes in, pleasing one's parents. And I come to America and it's me. It's all about pleasing myself. What is the right thing to do? And Guru Maharaj said, please God. And it was like, wow, this is it. This is the answer. This is what we need to do. It was like the scales falling off, from the eyes, and you finally see clearly. I just can never forget that moment. I was like, yes, this is it. Thank you, Guru.
Interesting you said that, Shide, because when I had to speak to one devotee, I'll speak about one devotee to His Holiness Lokanath Swami when I met him in Mayapur this past few months ago. And I was telling him the chant that one devotee has, he wants to serve, but his parents are on this side. Maharaj said in a very nice way, these Indian parents, they have to leave their children alone when they want to serve Krishna. That's exactly what he said. I said, yes, Maharaj, perfect.
Okay, keep it going. I'll be right back.
Okay, Maharaj. It was so funny because he was literally saying, that because this devotee wants to serve, like he really wants to serve.
They won't let us,
They won't let, exactly.
So
And then
much
the parents,
emotional blackmail and so much emotional, pull and push and tugging and
yeah.
giving you
And then
grief.
they will call with tears because they, it's such a trip. And this guy was so caught up, and they would call him every single day. So Maharaj just said very nicely, these Indian parents, they need to just leave their children serve Krishna. Because if they serve Krishna, they'll take the whole family back. What is their problem?
Right.
Number one, he said. And then number two, he said, just tell him to ignore the calls. Only do once a week. I said, Mars, thank you so much. Because it just gets too much, like they really want to serve, and sadly, the parents are pulling them into this repeated cycle of birth and death bondage.
Yeah, so true.
So,
And
yeah.
Maharaj would always say, whatever you're doing, it's going to benefit your family. It's going to benefit your family over and over and over again. And now, finally, after 20 years, I'm saying, yes, Krishna is really protecting some of my family members. Otherwise, my 90-year-old dad with his 101 health problems, how he's still alive is really, Krishna's mercy, So they don't know it, but they are benefiting.
He's 101 now?
No, 90 years.
He's 90. Oh, okay. He's still young.
Oh, yes, Guru Maharaj. He's younger than me. He's full of energy, very enthusiastic. I feel old next to him.
Thank you. Very nice comments, Sridevi. I mean, yes, thank you so much. Any questions? Like the voice, Marge, okay, I'll wait for Marge to come back. Oh, Marge that's 3 questions that I wanted to ask. I'll wait for Marge to come back. Marge, I have a question, Marge, is when from the verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita that we just covered, it said that Lord Nityananda and Advaitacharya is in the Vishnu Tattva form. And you mentioned that Gadadhar Pandit and Srivas are in the Jiva Tattva form. And
No.
no? Okay, Marge, please.
Gadadhar Shakti Tattva.
Gadadhar Shakti Tattva. So, Marge, if we have been told that Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani, so I'm just wondering, why can it not be Vishnu Tattva? Why Shakti Tattva?
Well, it's a specific category for the energies.
Okay.
Yeah. But still, I mean, Radharani is, she's worshipped by Vishnu Tattva.
Okay.
Shakti
Yes.
means the energy. The female manifestations of the absolute truth are called Shaktis. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And Marsh, when you were speaking on the 81 wrong ways to do devotional service, I was like, it blew my mind. Marsh, do you have a document on that? Or a lecture?
It's in the third canto somewhere. I know that for sure. I don't have let me see. If you give me a minute, I can see.
Sure, Marsh. I'm really curious to know about that.
I just need to get out for a minute and just go to one file.
Okay.
I think I know where it is, but I have more problem getting out than finding the file. Okay.
You're stuck in this crazy material world, Maharaj.
No, I'm getting out of the Zoom call here. Let's see, where am I? Okay. Yeah, we're moving. Let's see where we are here. Okay. Let's see if I documented it. Okay. Let's see if it's documented. Looking for my numbers. Okay. This might be. Let's see. Getting close. Let me see if that 80. No, I don't think I have it documented there. Yeah. If I find it, let me see. Let's see. What's another way of reference 81? wrong devotional service. Let me look under devotional service.
Shivakumar put a post, is it 3:29:10? Both Shivakumar and Ekachakradam. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I have to see what it says there.
Canto 3, chapter 29, March. It's entitled Explanation of Devotional Service by Lord Kapila.
329 what?
Chapter 29, it's the title of the chapter is Explanation of Devotional Service by Lord Kapila.
Yeah, but what verse is it?
What did he say? I think he said, let me check. 10.
Okay. Go ahead and go to there and see what you
Okay,
can
let me
find.
see.
I think it's 15, but let's see what you can find.
I'm going to share the screen, Mara, so that we can. Okay, this is 329. Excuse me. This is 329:10. Is this March?
Oh
Devotional
yeah, here it is.
service.
You got it. The last paragraph. Read it.
Devotional service in the modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness can be divided into 81 categories. There are different devotional activities such as hearing, chanting, remembering, worshiping, offering prayer, rendering service, and surrendering everything. Each of them can be divided into 3 qualitative categories. There is hearing in the mode of passion, hearing in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance, and the mode of goodness. Similarly, there is chanting in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. 3 multiplied by 9 equals 27. And when again multiplied by 3, it becomes 81. One has to transcend all such mixed materialistic devotional service in order to reach the standard of pure devotional service as explained in the next verses.
Yeah, so there's the explanation right there. We have to get rid of those mixed devotional service. Come to pure devotional service.
So which means, Maharaj, I guess my question is that I do get the 9 times 3 of each of them, the 9 processes times 3 is 27. I guess my thing is, how did it get to 81? And I think that's going to be the next verse, Maharaj, from 27 to 8.
So he explains the multiplication here. Yeah. So 3 times, yeah, it's explained in that paragraph you just read.
Okay.
But it says one has to transcend all of these forms of mixed devotional service. So Prabhupada also says, well, these are all wrong ways for practicing devotional service. Probably uses this word wrong. Go to verse number 15.
15.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this whole chapter is all about devotional service. It's an important chapter to read, to try to understand and learn the science of bhakti and its intricacies. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I will definitely refer to this. This really intrigued my mind. Got it bogging. Thank you, Maharaj. Any other questions from devotees? Please do raise your hand. I had a third question, but somehow I don't remember my third question. Completely forgot about it. Anyway, but are there any questions from devotees that you would like to ask? Please do raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat and I'll be happy to read it. And okay, I think one just came through. Okay. That's one from Dheeraj. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. At your lotus feet, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I was reading in one of Srila Prabhupada's letter where he was mentioning that if you are a devotee and you want to accept marriage life, You should not break up the marriage life at any cost if you call yourself a devotee. Now we see some devotees who are breaking up. So how we as a devotee can help them?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess the best example would be those devotees who are fixed in their marriage life as an example. And they also know what it takes to to keep the marriage connected with devotional activities and keep both persons, what we say, happy. I mean, there are many long-term marriages in our movement. I was just with one person, they're from Gita Nagari also. I think you know them, right?
Yadu and Taruni?
Taruni and Yadava, yeah.
Yeah, they've been married at almost 50-something years marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's others like that. So Prabhupada, when he first started the movement, there was nobody to do the yagya for marriages, so Prabhupada was doing it. But after 3 years, he stopped because he said, "You're not taking it serious." So the idea is that Krishna consciousness contains all the knowledge you need. And even if there's some discourse or some reason to dissolve the marriage, one should refer to religious principles and with the guidance of someone who is also expert at explaining these principles and is also fixed in their own marriage, they can overcome. Bhakti Tirtha used to say, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, you say, when people have a difficulty in married life, then by working together and overcoming that difficulty, by overcoming it, the relationship gets stronger than it was before. Like that. Is it your birthday today or is it hers?
It's my grandma.
Oh,
She was
okay.
10.
Yours was,
2 days ago,
she was 10 and you're
yeah,
12.
yeah, 10.
I just remembered today. Sorry, I forgot.
Nothing auspicious about it.
So yeah, this is the success of life when we accept difficulties and try to work with that and overcome it and bring the relationship back together. The relationship becomes stronger than it was before. But people like to give up things so easily or become disturbed when something goes wrong. But in every ashram, there are principles to adhere to. By following the principles and working together to overcome difficulties, one can again renew their relationships on any level.
And that's also why in Sri Devi can testify that the GBC has a statement on premarital counseling to avoid all these broken marriages. It's really, really sad.
Yeah, it doesn't really make us look so good, in a broader sense.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, like was seeing that at such a point when there is a kid growing up in a Krishna conscious and that moment parents are breaking up. So what impact would be on that small kid? So yeah.
That's
So how could we?
That's one of the reasons to try to make it work. That's actually the main reason. How the children are affected when parents.
Yeah. We see advanced devotees like, yeah, they are breaking up.
I don't know, but one of the ways to avoid that is to follow the principles of Bhagavatam, and that friendship and marriage should align themselves with uh, nature and likings, similar nature, similar likings. So if you start off from that, you got a good start. Sometimes their natures are quite opposite, and that makes it hard to really develop a relationship. It's possible, but it's like working from a deficit, you know. So that's why astrology comes in to align the natures up, see if their natures are there. No astrological chart of two people will come to the ideal, but when the percentage is at least 80 to 90%, then that's enough to say that one could go ahead with that relationship. These are ways
Yeah.
but sometimes people get married just because of some physical attraction. But what's the word? Evidence shows, statistics show that physical attraction wears off after 2 or 3 years. And then there has to be something else to keep the relationship going. But what we have is the service to Krishna. That's our binding force. That helps us to overcome many, what we say, differences.
Yeah, Guru Maharaj, like I have grown up in such a family where my my father is Hiranyakashipu, and my mother is as soft. Like like I have seen from my childhood, they are being like fighting, quarreling, everything is going on, but they are still like, if they don't talk with each other like weeks or weeks, but again they are together. But nowadays it's not seen like, if you have one fight, then they go here and there, they leave each other. They make decisions so easily, they don't know what will be the future, but they just break up.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot of that is affected by the lifestyle that we are being imposed upon. This fast-paced, materialistic, technological society, which is all about profit.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself also trying to uh, act as some kind of a counselor in people's, but I find it, unless both people are willing to give it a try, then if one person comes in and says it's about the other person, and the other one says it's about the other person, then they don't. There's nowhere to start to develop. Both have to be willing to make some change and some sacrifice in order to bring back that relationship in the Krishna conscious way. If it's always the other person is wrong, then you'll never get anywhere. Instead,
Sridevi, you wanted to jump right in. Please go ahead.
I was just thinking of what Guru Maharaj said right in the beginning, that the support of those in long-standing marriages is today absolutely essential for a couple, because otherwise any little thing can cause so much disturbance. We do not have the joint family system anymore. Previously, when a young couple fought, there were so many people to pacify them, and the negativity was immediately discharged. But now, if they fight, the negativity is just hanging in the air. There's nobody to pacify them, nobody to reason with them or say, oh, don't worry, he's just in a bad mood, it'll be better tomorrow. Something, the olden days, there were so many older Matajis around that young bride. Similarly, so many men in the family to counsel the young husband. So the marriage didn't have so much strain as it has today. And now, of course, we are all so much in flux. So many people, they're moved away from their families. There's no support. So just as it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to raise a couple in Krishna consciousness. So they need all the help they can get, and they need to definitely connect with marriage mentors right from get-go, so that somebody is there to guide them through the ups and downs, Otherwise, there's no chance in Kali Yuga. A young couple cannot make it on their own. It's very difficult.
Well, I should let everybody know Sri Devi's talking from the position of a counselor. She does that all the time. And she faces these situations regularly. Yeah, community is really the foundation by which relationships are not more or less shared and not so much enclosed, where the husband and the wife simply depend on each other. If they become over-dependent on each other, the relationship becomes strained. In other words, the husband's trying to get everything he needs from the wife, and the wife's trying to get everything they need from the husband. But it's never going to work. They have to have other people where they can also fulfill their needs that are also part of the, you might say, community.
Thank you, Marge. Absolutely. It's so much needed. So much needed. Are you done with your question, Sridevi, or just wanted to make sure because you have your hand up, just don't want to ignore you. Okay.
She's just giving a little advice, which is really good.
It's so much needed. So much needed. We definitely need a lot of support with young couples, even before marriage, before they jump in the fire. So much needed.
Any other questions?
There's one more, Marge. Shranky, if you have, please do ask your question.
Is that a question or just something else?
I don't know, Marge. I'm going to have them.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Do you have a question, Prabhu?
No, Mataji, Hare Krishna. He just wanted to say Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Ho. Hare Krishna.
If there are no questions, I'm just going to make sure that I haven't missed anybody in the chat. If there are no questions, Marge, I don't want to put you in the spot because I know you sound tired and you had a very busy day, I'm assuming. A lot of people knocking on your doors. Would you like to chant around, Maharaj, or shall we?
No, I don't. I have to attend to the people that are here now. So.
That's fine, Marge. Completely understand, Marge. Completely. Sri Devi, would you like to run the japa for 5-10 minutes? Before you start, yes, go ahead, Sri Devi.
I'm gonna have to disappear, so all glories to Srila.
Yes, we want to thank Mama Maharaj for such a wonderful class, and thank all the devotees. Vanchakapalibhyascha, Kripasindhabheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Haribo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Sridevi, it's all yours. If you want to, I can make you co-host, or even I can make you host, Prabhu. That's what I'll do.
So what exactly you want me to do for another 5-10 minutes? Keep the
Japa,
call
you do that slideshow thingy. You're an expert in that.
Mataji, please stop live stream before giving.
Thank you for letting me know that too.
I think you already made her host.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I can't stop it. That explains it.
Mataji will end now.
Sridevi, you know how to, can you stop the live stream?